All right, guys. I am blessed to have Mr. Patrick Hemingway, is it?
Yep.
Join us today. Patrick is our newest affiliate of the AJJ Syndicate. He's running Madhouse Jiu Jitsu, Madhouse Academy. What's the lingo there?
Madhouse Academy.
Madhouse Academy. I actually looked when I was trying to find you. I looked and found like a Madhouse Jiu Jitsu, and it's like somewhere in the Midwest somewhere. And I was
Yeah,
like, no,
I had
that
no
ain't
idea about that.
it.
And we were getting ready for a tournament one time for like what like the register of the gym for like Naga or whatever it was.
Uh-huh.
And like it popped up. I was like, who's this? It's like a garage gym like out in the Midwest.
Oh, really? That's
Yeah.
funny. Okay, so yeah, he's running a great academy out there. I got to go out there last week. I was coaching a wrestling tournament and got to visit and got to do a little seminar. So I'll have that video posted fairly shortly. Right after this, I kind of wanted to launch them together, just so we can get you guys looking and seeing the inside of his gym. It was a great gym. I'm really stoked that we have an East Coast affiliate. That it was so cool that I could come out there and roll with you guys. I was so stoked because I was just looking to, get a roll in, and then, we set up a little seminar, and like you guys were just so cool. And that's something I really appreciated, was there was no ego. Like you were telling me ahead of time, like you're like, yeah, we got this, this brown belt, this judo black belt, this wrestler. And I'm thinking, in the back of my head, I'm like, oh, I'm just, some wrestler trying to show some gi stuff. And I was a little worried, but once I got going and meeting your guys, they were all super chill, all super like welcoming, and there was zero ego the whole time. How do you culture that in your gym? Because it was really refreshing.
It's something I've always wanted to do. I knew eventually I was going to always have my own gym. And I always wanted to have like certain vibe to it. And I made it a point that when we first opened that I wasn't going to have any type of like people coming in that were going to be too much of an ego or stuff like that. I wanted to make sure that everybody was on board, everybody's on the same page with things. Everybody wants to train hard, but we also are just super laid back and want to learn and just have fun.
Right. Yeah, no, it was cool. I mean, I believe it was Sam I got to roll with. He's your judo guy, right?
Sam, he's been with me since white belt. He's more of just like my Yoda of jujitsu.
Okay.
He's been
Yeah,
doing.
no,
He's
I
been
mean,
trying a lot of new judo stuff. Yeah.
okay. Yeah, because he was kind of showing some judo techniques at the beginning there, but it was cool to roll with him. He's a little bit of an older guy, but I mean, he brought it. He's legit. He's a
He's
legit
my.
brown belt.
We call him the kamikaze. He has one go. Just go 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 go.
Yeah, yeah. No, I love it. It was awesome. Those guys, and then you had Mr. King, right? Going for his belt. How'd
Yep.
that go?
He did good. It was a good match up until like halfway through, and he walked himself into a triangle. It's all right. Dumb little mistakes, but it was a minor little fix that we're gonna work on. He's gonna get ready for the next tournament, so it's no big deal.
Cool. Nice. Yeah, yeah, yeah. That's what it's about. Just getting those experiences and competing as much as possible. Um, and then you got a tournament coming up.
So right now I'm gonna do the New York Open. That's my game plan for right now. Is gonna be New York Opens in August. And
Okay.
then the following weekend I believe is Connecticut for the
Okay.
IBJJF, and then 2 weeks later I'm waiting for a phone call for a match. Hopefully it's for the title for a show called Men of War. So
Oh, cool.
I'm waiting on that stuff, and then basically the rest of the year is just kind of like up in the air. I really want to do the ADCC trials.
Right.
I'm hoping to possibly get out to the West Coast for the Nogi Worlds.
Oh,
So
okay.
yeah,
Nice.
in between that, if anything pops up, I'm always game for whatever. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. We'll have to have you come out and do a seminar over here, show some of your half guard stuff. We got to do a little roll at the end of the seminar, and we were playing that teeter totter game in half guard. Uh, it's so fun to play those like little centimeter games with a high level guy like yourself, where if you make a mistake, you're gonna pay for it.
Oh, I love getting in those like opportunities of those games with people, like especially with like you. It's like you just said, like the minute you make that little mistake, it's just downhill for that person.
Yeah, yeah, for sure. You make them pay. Your half guard's very very strong, very tight half guard. Yours is very similar to one of our guys, Bobby, who's just a new black belt for us over here. and it's a very similar game where you guys really tie up that leg, focus on working your teeter totters and your grips, those sleeve grips with your half guard. That was so hard. Once you got to my sleeve, it was like, all right, now we're tangled.
Yeah, yeah.
Now we gotta really fight this. So how did you develop that game? Where did you learn your half guard from?
So that game, I started developing a half guard probably like middle of my blue belt, because during when it like white belt and beginning of the blue belt, I just wanted just to like play butterfly and kind of X guard, and then I was like, there's something missing. Like I always got put into those like weird situations, so I started
Hmm.
playing regular half guard, and I'm like, there's more to this somewhere. So I started messing with the lapels and trying to tie people up, and then I discovered, oh, I can roll to my other side, and start playing deep half. So then I
Mm.
literally, from mid blue belt all the way to now, like I just went crazy, like trying to figure out all different games. And anytime someone showed me a game from, it could be like a arm drag or just a certain grip or his body positioning from like say full guard or this or that. Like I always incorporated like how can I use that in my game, just like in the half guard itself. And I started
Mm.
playing all that stuff and just adding, going crazy with it.
Yeah, yeah, that's fun. What's your favorite like transition from the half guard?
I'd probably say I go like half to full X a lot of times.
Okay.
That's
Mm-hmm.
a lot of stuff I like to play. It mix those two up pretty well.
Mm-hmm.
And then sometimes I do like half if I'm trying to go deep and I get stuck, I'll try to play like a old man version, I like to call it, of like De La Hiva.
Okay.
And then I try to like, and then I just incorporate that after that. I just kind of flow with it, see what that person
Kind of go
wants to.
back and forth.
Yeah,
Nice. Yeah, that's cool. Yeah, you showed me that entry, and that blew my mind. That was really cool. I love how you did that foot sweep, and then you drop into your half guard. That was a really cool technique. Just because the guy, it's a little similar to Tanner's game with his sloppy X that I showed you guys, where if you defend the fireman, defend the fireman, the sloppy X is there, and then yours is similar, where if you defend that foot sweep, the deep half is there. So it's kind of a similar kind of game on your feet that you guys play, which is really cool because you're kind of stuck between a rock and a hard place.
yeah, that's for sure. It's a very fun area that leads to everything. Everybody called half guard like halfway to getting past. I say it's like halfway to submitting that person or making them drown at that point.
Right. Yeah, or back take or leg lock, depending
Exactly.
on if you're a nogi. Yeah.
It opens the world up to everything.
Yeah, no, for sure. So let's go back a little bit. What got you started in martial arts? You said you had an early wrestling career, but what was that transition? How'd you get into it?
So it's a funny story. I think it started like fourth or fifth grade. My uh, gym teacher was the head wrestling coach for a while, for like the adult for high school and stuff like that. And he always kept like
Mm-hmm.
telling all like, oh, you should join like the wrestling club as like a young kid. And then when I
Yeah.
got to intermediate school, like sixth through eighth, I was like, you know what, I'm just gonna wrestle. I always loved watching like WWF when I was a little kid. So it's like
Mm.
I was like, cool, I'm gonna just get into wrestling. So I started wrestling. That was fun. And then I stopped I think I stopped sophomore year, and I just really just wanted to surf all the time. I just got into like surfing like heavily. That's all I wanted to do. Like I
And
always
were you
surfed.
on the East Coast?
What happened?
Were you on the East Coast at that time?
Yeah, same.
Okay.
I'm living same spot since I grew up. Yeah.
Okay. Because you went to Oahu a little bit, right? You lived on the island for a little bit.
Yeah. So I've been going out to Hawaii from basically the last like I don't know. It's a good call. It's probably like a little. I didn't go the last two winters, but before that, it's probably like 12 straight seasons. I would go out during the wintertime. Yeah.
Oh, okay. So you kind of just kind of go over there.
Yeah, just go out there for the winter, go train, go surf, hang out, come back. Yeah.
Nice. Where you train over there?
I would train at North Shore Jiu Jitsu with
Okay.
Mike Fowler.
Oh,
And
nice.
then I would go over to Sunset Beach with JD Donner and Kai Borg and those guys. And then I would be,
Awesome.
when they would have the open mats at Boar's Nest,
Mm.
that's fun. That's all the heavy hitters. Like everybody, all the gyms, they all go there. I believe it's like Tuesdays and Thursday afternoons.
Oh, cool.
Yeah. Sorry, one sec. I'm
Yeah, looks like you're in a sauna a little bit.
yeah, just one sec. I got to take off my hoodie.
Yeah, buddy, do
It
it.
got really hot all the time.
Yeah.
All right, I'm back. Yeah, no, I'm at the beach right now checking out the waves, and it got so muggy all of a sudden. I'm like, what is going on?
Yeah. Are you guys still dealing with some smoke?
No, that all went away. That
Okay, good.
like maybe like 2 days after you left, all of a sudden it cleared up. It was
It was
wild,
so brutal.
and it's funny. That was the first time in our 2 years at this location that I've ever put the air on or a fan on in the gym.
Oh wow.
So it's like I'm like, oh man.
No, it was fine, but I literally, because your gym, it's such a cool location that you guys have. You're a rock throw from the beach, so I got to go over there and check out the shore and just kind of walk around a little bit. But I was out of my car for like 5 minutes and I was already like suffocating. So I was like, okay, that's a bad idea. I need to get indoors and then you got a great sushi spot next door, so it's a cool location. And then you guys are talking about expanding.
Yeah, I'm hoping within the year. By this time next year, we'll definitely be in a bigger spot. We just grew so
Hmm.
fast, and we weren't even
Yeah,
supposed to be in our location we're at now. It just happened so quick, and
yeah,
it's one of those unique little spots anyway. It almost wants to be like a speakeasy almost. Like it's
yeah.
just it doesn't look like it's a gym, and then when you actually go in, you're like, oh, okay, this is really cool. Like,
Yeah, no, it's a great location, and I really enjoyed that town. It's cool little beach vibe. Like you said, there's some good surf around. I was checking out the waves. I was licking my chops a little bit. Next time I'm coming out and surfing. Um, but
definitely got it.
um, but what got you into surfing?
I always grew up going to the beach as a kid. Since I was little, as long as I can remember, I always would spend from sun up to sundown at the beach, and I always grew up within like a mile of the beach anyway. So I'd always ride my bike up or go skate up to the beach or something, check out the waves, and then I spent all my
Yeah,
time there. If I'm not at the gym, I was always
that's
in the
awesome.
water.
Yeah, dude, I love surfing. I love being in the water and just catching waves, getting tumbled. It's even fun when you crash. Just it's a great experience, and there's no bad feelings after you get done surfing. Like even if you didn't catch a wave, like
No,
just paddling out and getting in the water, like you just feel like on a new level.
it's a great reset.
Yeah, yeah, for sure. That's a great word for it. Reset. Especially, we grind so much. It's so nice to have something, just take your mind and reset and just regain, some composure and some rest as well with
Oh,
active
exactly.
activity. Active rest is so huge for us because we can, trick ourselves into a nice workout, get some cardio in and then get back on the mats.
Yeah.
So yeah, definitely coming out and surfing. Okay, so back to your story about sophomore year. You said no more wrestling, getting into surfing.
Yeah, I started doing some like surf contests and bodyboard contests and stuff like that, and I just didn't really care to be around like anything else. I just wanted to be like more like the ocean. And
Hmm.
then it was probably like a few years later I was started to like work out like in lift wise. And one of my friends at this fitness shop we were at, he's like it was like 3 levels. So I was on the second level, and would have classes on the third floor. They would have like jujitsu random nights.
Hmm.
And one of my friends was like, "Hey, there's jujitsu tonight. You wrestled. Like, why don't you come up and try it?" I was like,
Yeah,
"All right, why not?" And then after that, I literally have not stopped doing jujitsu since
just
then.
addicted. And what were you guys?
Yeah,
Were you guys rolling nogi gi at that
it
time?
was just nogi. It
Okay.
was just a nogi class, and I took it. And I was like, wow. Like I always when I wrestled, I always was like, there's something missing.
Yeah. Yeah.
I was like, I feel like I could be doing something else. And then during that time when I was wrestling, like UFC started getting kind of popular. It was like the
Hmm.
whole like Chuck Liddell era and stuff like that. I
Yeah.
always watched fights, and I watched like people do like all the chokes and stuff like that. And I was like, I want to do that more. Like there's something there. When I had the opportunity now to do that, I was like, this is awesome. Like, yeah, it just became a big game to me.
Yeah. Yeah. You just become an addict of it and just want to keep
Oh
playing.
yeah. Oh yeah, yeah.
How old were you that time?
Uh, I want to say 19,
So just right about
1920.
after high
Yeah,
school.
yeah.
Cool. Cool. That's awesome. And how old are you now?
I am 32. I had to think about that for a second.
It's all right. We're getting old, man. The years keep passing, keep
Yeah.
adding up.
I try to stay a kid. That's why I always just want to be like the big grown up kid. Just have fun all the time. Like,
For sure. Yeah, that's the way to do it, man. That's awesome. So you got into jits, and then did you end up doing any fighting, or you just
No,
stick with the
I
jits?
trained a lot in MMA and other things, boxing and stuff like that, and I just never really got really too interested. I always saw people get like
Right.
hooked into it and get after it and really train hard for it, and it's just a really short career. And I was
Yeah.
like, you know what, with jiu-jitsu you could definitely do something with it if you're smart and just put your head down and grind.
Mm-hmm.
And over the years of
Right.
like doing that and watching all these other people start like doing like instructionals and all these matches and stuff, I'm like, I could definitely do that. Why not?
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Yeah. It's nice for us, older guys to have a little bit more longevity in our career. Like I was telling you, my dad, competed a couple times last year, and he's, pushing 60 plus now. So it's so fun that we get to, be able to compete and stay young, like you said, just have fun with it as we get older. I think that's unique in our sport.
I think that's the greatest thing about jiu-jitsu. It's literally for everybody,
Hmm.
ages, shapes and sizes. It's like you can find something, there's some type of game you can play, and it
Hmm.
just, you just got to go out and do it.
Yeah, for
Yeah.
sure. What are some things that you want to do with the gym long term? You said you're looking for some new locations, but what's your goal with the gym?
The goal with the gym, I'd really love to like have a bunch of them, to be honest. I'd love
Okay.
to not only open up a bunch of them, but also grow a black belt, like grow homegrown black belts and have
Yeah.
them do their own school
Right.
and just produce like a great product. I want to have I want to have a different vibe than everybody else. I just want to have a really good time, good homey feel, but just
Mm-hmm.
train hard at the same time. So I
Yeah.
want to really focus in on that over the next few years and just really just grow.
Yeah. Yeah, and you guys are, looking at kind of Google Maps when I was over there, you guys are kind of on your own. There's not too many gyms around the area. There's some like smaller gyms, but as far as like a gym that has Muay Thai, MMA, wrestling, Jiu Jitsu, Nogi, all of it, you guys are one of a unique position in that sense.
Yeah, and that's the greatest thing about it is in our area there's really good people in our area, but every gym has their own like I don't know how to put it, their own
Like their
vibe basically.
niche. Yeah.
Yeah, they have their own thing, which is the greatest thing about it. So even if someone comes to our gym and like tries it out and they're like, "Oh, I want to sign up," I'm like, "Well, there's a couple other places." Like I'm never like the person to be like, "I'm gonna hold you to here." Like go
Right.
try out some things. If you come back, you come back. Like it's whatever.
No, and I think that's huge as, a non-scarcity mindset. An abundance mindset is huge as a gym owner. That's something I see from Tanner a lot as well, where it's just like, hey, I just want to train guys, and if you want to come train with me, let's do it. If you want to go train somewhere else, do it. Like, knowledge is everywhere. You should be able to tap into knowledge sources everywhere and not get offended because someone's, going across town and working with Joe Schmo or whatever.
Exactly. I feel like a lot of coaches get caught up in their ego, like I'm the best, or you have to be here. When in reality, you need to cross train, and people need to grow and be their own like character in a way. Like they have to develop their game, and sometimes you may not have that one little piece to their game, and they go learn it a little bit, and then they come back and it evolves everybody else in the gym.
Yeah, no, that's huge. I mean, being able to source those other options, and then for different body styles, they're gonna
Oh,
learn
exactly.
different things. They're going to learn things that their body style, like I'm a little bit lankier, skinnier guy, so I like, a lot of chokes and stuff. But, you like your half guard because you're a little bit of stockier, stronger guy. So it's nice that you can kind of manipulate, like you said, your personality into your game, and then source those technique sources from other places. Like you said, just kind of pick up those little things that will help you in the long run and bring different looks for your partners in the gym is huge.
Oh, 100%.
I think that's something that that you guys do really well because as I was rolling with the different guys from your white belts to your brown belts, I was getting different looks at each turn. I was getting a guy trying to judo throw me. I was getting a guy trying to work on his guard game. So it was so cool, like just to see those different personalities shine through. What's one way you like to really cultivate them growing? Like you said, you're open, go out, train wherever. But how do you do that in the gym where it's like, hey, this will work for you. Go dive
It
into this.
more so is like having that curriculum, I would say, where you don't have to be super strict about having what you're going to be doing. I always wanted to have everybody to have
Hmm.
their own game. So, like you said, everybody has a different body style, so you want to learn everything basically, but see what works best for you. So, like every month, I make sure
Right.
that like 1 month it's like okay, we're doing full guard stuff, whether it's passing it or you're going to be learning as like a
Hmm.
sequence each week and just keep adding on throughout the month of that particular area to understand it more.
Yeah,
So every month we just like we'll find a new spot and we just build up on it for the whole month.
that's awesome. That's a cool way to look
Yeah,
at it.
so I make sure that you get a little of everything. Like we'll have a whole wrestling month, or we'll have half guard month, this that like, and like this when you came in, it was just basically this month of June is just like Jiu Jitsu 101, passing, positioning, just the basic white belt stuff. But it's always good to go over that stuff.
Yeah, yeah. I find that that stuff is a little bit more mundane to teach, but like you said, it's so important to get those building blocks back, to refresh the building blocks of jujitsu as you're learning the higher level stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's cool. So do you normally do like a month by month basis like that? That's kind of how you approach it?
That's how I've been approaching it for since maybe like the last 2 years.
Hmm.
I feel like that works best because I feel like a lot of people they focus in on like, okay, hey, it's an ankle lock today, and then tomorrow it's like we're doing a choke, and then we're doing
Right.
an escape. You're like, why are we doing this type of thing? Like, why does what does this have to do with this today? I
Yeah.
rather have it where you're like, okay, we're gonna do this pass into this motion, and this leads us to the back into guard because he retained it. Like,
Right.
there's always something to do. But I feel like you just learn better that way.
Yeah. No, I think that's smart. um, and that'll help your guys, I think, chain everything together a lot better. We're kind of similar in the sense where we kind of go a little bit more week by week and do kind of the similar thing. But what are some tips that you have to like plan that out? Because that's one of the things that I become frustrated with is like, oh, I showed that, a year ago. I don't want to show it again, So it's like, how do you plan, what you're going to go over?
That's funny. Because you know what it is? I think it was like last year. I sat back, like I decided to say, like, hey, I need like a rest day or a rest morning. Like, say we have like you have a competition class night, and the next morning I'm like, you know what? I'm gonna make that my rest morning, and I'll
Hmm.
just strictly just focus in on like being the best teacher and like and watch everybody. So like
Hmm.
I take those certain classes during the week where I just focus in on everybody training and really see what we're messing up.
Hmm.
And then I go, okay, hey, this month we're going to revert back into this, or we're going to skip this and go into this plan.
That's awesome.
And then I just start like my brain just works weird, and I watch someone move, and I'm like, all right, we're going to do this now because we really need to focus in.
Yeah, that's cool. No, I really like that idea. I'm going to definitely. That's a cool one because I think that's great. I mean, you're plugging your holes as you're growing, and that's what
Yeah,
it's
and
all
at the end
about.
of the day, the gym only grows if everybody's going to work together and you focus in on what you're trying to build. And
Mm.
really, too, like I want to have, I want to be when I come in, I want to have everybody getting after me. You know what I mean? I want everybody to give me a hard time. I don't care what belt you
Yeah,
are. Like I want to grow too. I'm not going to be selfish. I want you guys to be
yeah.
better than me.
I was. It was funny because a couple of our black belts the other day were like kind of off in the corner, like working on some stuff, and I kind of overheard my name, and they're like, yeah, Caleb, we're trying to beat you. We're studying your crap. I'm like, good. Like, please do. Like, I need to get beat. Like, I want to get beat. I want to get beat every day. Like, I want to get tapped out because if I don't, then that means we're not growing as a gym. We're not, becoming better. And if I can't show you stuff to beat me, and then I'm not a good coach, And I have to counter that. Obviously, I'm gonna not let you as much as I can, but eventually, I want everyone to be able to beat me.
I see. That's what I love too. It's like everybody else will be like, "How can I beat you?" Or the same thing. Like they'll have like Sam, for instance, on like his Sunday morning classes. It's like he caters that class to drills to beat me.
Yeah,
Like so, it's funny, but it's just fun to have those people just get at like really try to focus in on how to like just kill you basically. And I
yep,
love that. I love when people have that enthusiasm of just like go go go. We got to be coach. I'm like yes,
yep,
that's what I want. I don't care if someone new from a different school comes in and they roll hard. I'm like this is great. Like I love it.
yeah, yeah. No, that's how we get better. Iron sharpens iron for sure. What do you want to do with your youth program? What's the goal for your youth club?
So the my youth club, that's more. I don't really consider it a youth club. I call it my mini adults
Okay.
because I'm not. I always tell everybody like I'm not your babysitter for your kids.
Mm,
Um, I consider jujitsu like another sport in a way because there's a lot of kids that try other sports like baseball, basketball, and they're not they're not good with it,
mm,
and they come to jujitsu and they're like Einstein with it. So I try to I make the program as fun as possible, but I try to make them be like just mini adults. You got to treat them like adults because they're growing anyway, and
yeah,
they're gonna learn, and they soak it up like sponges. So when I started my program, I really just tried to focus in on making them be good as they can. And I took a couple of the kids; they had no experience whatsoever in anything, and within the year, they're winning Naga swords and all that other stuff. Like I gave them a
that's
year of just
awesome.
like doing their thing, and then I brought them to tournaments, and they're just like, "This is awesome! I want to do this every day now."
Yeah, that's cool. That's so cool. I mean, the youth, like you said, they just soak up so much. You can throw so much at them, and then by the time they get to, the blue belt level or juvenile blue belt level, it's like they're complete athletes almost. Like they're almost at that black belt level.
You get those kids that start at like 8, and then like you just said, when they come 16, they get their blue belt. They're beating
Hmm.
adult purple belts sometimes, and you're like the older guys, and they're like, "How is this happening?" You're like, they just have that knowledge. They have so much experience on the mat, and it's so fun to see.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. And I was telling you about Marcos and Mario, and like I just rolled with Marcos a couple hours ago, and dude sweat me. He's 16-year-old blue belt and sweat me, and was like, yeah, man, that's legit. I mean, if we can culture that and grow with that, that's the goal.
Yeah, I've been watching their videos, and man, they've been killing it.
They're
It's
so
so fun
fun.
to watch, like that younger generation, like just pick up on everything that like you guys or me like throw out there to them, and they just pick up on it and just go crazy. I love it. I what did he just win? The worlds, right?
Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah, just won worlds.
and that was amazing to see.
It's crazy. Little old Reading. It's awesome. So cool.
He won up me already.
I know all of us. I haven't won worlds. But yeah, it's so cool to watch those kids get after it, and Tanner does such a great job at cultivating hard work with those kids, and like you said, he holds them to such a higher standard, like you do with your class, where it's just like, no, you're gonna train like an adult. Like, sorry, there's no tissues here.
Yeah,
Like, you're gonna go.
I always I'm like they'll be like, "Oh, I'm bleeding," and they'll have like a little like paper cut. I'm like, "Go put some tape on it. You're fine." Like they like, look at me crazy, and then they put it on, and they go back out there. I'm like, "See, you're fine.
You're fine. You're tough. You're gonna be okay.
You're in a tough sport. It's gonna happen."
Yes, you're gonna get some nicks and bruises. What's the worst injury you've ever had
Oh
in
man,
jujitsu?
worst one.
Hmm.
I think when I broke 6 ribs. Yeah,
That's brutal.
yeah.
How'd you do that?
That was a tough one.
And what's the story there?
Uh, well, because I broke 6 on one side, and then I broke again in a tournament like 4 at one shot.
Oh.
The one time was just a freak accident.
Okay.
I was just rolling into a knee bar, and my friend, he just kind of like went for like a sprawl and slid down weird, but he went
Mm.
the wrong way and just turned me into like a weird crunch, and I just felt like a small pop,
Ugh.
and I was like, oh, that feels weird. Like, it didn't hurt at first. I guess it was just adrenaline. And
Right.
like I tried to like sit up afterwards, and I was like, oh no, I was like,
That's not good.
yeah,
I
it's
can't
not
breathe.
good. And then I went and got checked out, and they're like, yeah, it's this. So I was just like, man, this sucks.
Yeah. What'd you do to recover for that?
Uh, it's funny. I used mineral ice. I got
Hmm.
this stuff called mineral ice. It's like an icy hot,
Hmm.
and I would just rub it on
Okay.
all the time. And then I got what is it? Icy hot actually makes like a stim patch, like one of
Hmm.
those like stim machines, but like it's like instead of
Yeah.
buying like a $500 one, it's only like $50 for like a small battery one. And I would just
Okay.
wear that all the time and just get it into like that area, and then
Uh-huh.
that's really about it. You really can't do much. Just sit and wait.
Yeah. That would
So
suck.
that time it took me like almost 2 months.
Yeah.
It was like
So you
after
did you roll during that?
the first, I think like 3 weeks, no, because I couldn't even do
Hmm.
a sit up. And then after once I
Okay.
could do a sit up, I was like would just come to class and just drill. And
Hmm.
then after that, once I could actually like twist and turn and have like pressure, like puts like someone sit on me, basically, I was like, all right, it's time to roll. But it took like
Yeah.
a good 2 months for me to be like, okay, I'm back.
Yeah. Yeah. You get so itchy, on the sidelines. You're just like, I just want to roll.
I just get
This is
cranky.
miserable. Yeah. Yeah. For sure. Your rhythm's all off, and you don't get to sweat, and it sucks. Uh, what's it like being a dad, and owning a gym now?
Being a dad's awesome.
Yeah.
It's a lot of fun. It's just fun to like. I have a baby girl, so it's really super fun to see her grow every day. Like, I'll sit there for a second, and I'm like, wow, your hands got huge in the past 2 days. Or like all of a sudden, I'm holding her this morning, and I'm like, wow, like I can't even hold you with one arm anymore. Like you're across my whole body now. Like, this is
That's
crazy.
awesome.
But being a dad with a gym is it's super fun. You know what I mean? Like, now I'm like I want to rush home and hang out. You know what I mean?
Mm,
Like
yeah.
I leave a little like early to set up the gym, get ready for everybody, and then I'll be like setting up the gym, and I'm like, and I'll get like a text from my wife saying like, hey, here's a picture of the baby, and it'll be like the dog doing something funny. I'm like, oh, I can't wait to get home.
Yeah, yeah, I gotta go. See you guys.
Yeah. But yeah, no, I love it.
That's
It's
awesome.
so much fun. A huge life changer, but in so many good ways that I never thought would be like that amazing.
Yeah. And how old is your daughter now?
Just what I think next week she turns 4 months. I don't even know what today's date
Wow.
is.
I know, right? What were we looking at? The 14th, June 14th? Yeah. There we are.
Yeah, so yeah, Monday she turns 4 months.
That's crazy.
Crazy.
That
Time flies.
yeah. I know, right? My boys, I just had them. I drug them to my nogi class this morning. In the summer, I try to get the younger guys out because we don't have a nogi youth program yet. I'm planning on implementing one once we move to the new gym. But I tell all the kids, I'm like, no, come. Like, I want to coach you guys. I want you guys to learn because, like we said, it's like eventually those kids are going to be what the gym is. They're going to be the
Oh
representation
yeah.
of the gym. And I love no-gi and wrestling, so I try to pull them to the dark side, but I love the gi too. It's fun. But yeah, I had my boys come this morning, and it's so fun to be able to do it with them and be able to coach them and watch them learn. It's unlike
Yeah,
anything
I
else.
can't wait. I was just joking the other day. I was like, the minute she starts crawling, I'm gonna make sure she has her own little gi. I'm gonna be like, you're leading the warm ups.
Yeah,
Get her going.
that's the way to do it. Yeah, yeah. Get her to start barking at the guys. No, you're not doing that right.
She starts crying and be like, see,
Yeah,
you're being lazy with this stuff. She's
yeah. Yeah, that's Tanner's daughter, little Kimura. She's always, bossing everyone around. She's like, no, you do that. It's like, all right, yes, ma'am.
no problem.
Yeah, you're the boss. How'd you and your wife meet?
Uh, through one of our mutual friends. It was actually one of her like bosses at the time,
Okay,
and ever since then, since we met, we never left each other's side. Like, we've always been together nonstop. I mean, there was a
that's
time
awesome.
maybe like a 4 day period. I like haven't been with each other. Like we always like I just love being with her.
That's awesome. That's so cool. Yeah, my wife is very similar. She we're inseparable at the hip. This last trip was the longest we've actually been apart for for a long time. So it was a little tough on Mama, but she survived. She held down the fort.
Oh man, they got to be tough.
um,
They're tougher than us sometimes,
yeah,
or I should
for
say all the
sure.
time.
They got to hold it down. Yeah, yeah, definitely. And your wife, does she roll?
Yeah. So since the baby, she's maybe once or twice, but she
Hmm.
was just talking the other day. She's like, I can't wait to get back. I need to get back every day now. Like she's like, we finally have like a schedule down and like life's getting back to normal with the baby. So she's planning
Yeah.
on making her big comeback.
That's
Yeah.
awesome. That's so fun to be able to roll with your wife too. It's like, uh, I mean, you guys get to like kind of mess around a little bit, you know. It's never like a serious roll, but it's always, always
I
fun.
like I like to. Hey, can I try something real quick? Like I'll just be sitting on the couch. I'm like, what? Next thing you know, I'm like,
Yes.
oh. She's like, does it work? I'm like, yeah, it works.
Yeah, it was good. Thanks. Tap.
Oh man.
Yeah, no, she's always like whenever we roll like in the gym, my wife is like, she's like, no, stand up. I want to practice wrestling. It's like I'll pull guard on her and she's like, no, no, we're not doing that.
Get
We're
back
we're
up. Get
playing
back up.
wrestling. Get up. Yeah, yeah. She wants to throw me or fireman's me or whatever. So it's a lot of fun.
Oh man.
How'd you meet Elliot again? You told me a little bit, but
I
how'd you
met
guys hook up?
Elliot through my friend or our mutual friend, Paul Moran.
Okay.
For there was a couple of years I was going out to Vegas for the Nationals, and I would link up with Paul. And the first year I was there, he's like, "Man, Elliot's not coming this year, but you two would hit it off. You guys would have a blast. Like you guys are similar in style, this that." He's like, "It'd be a good time." And then after that, it was just like maybe like a few months later, Elliot was I think it was Pans, one of the New York Opens, I guess, or
Hmm.
Pan Am's maybe at New York, and
Okay.
we met there, and ever since then, like just hit it off.
Yeah.
And then it was
That's
maybe like
awesome. He's such a
it
cool
was right
dude.
before, I think it was year before COVID. I went out to Elliott School for the week and hung out with him for the week. And yeah, and he's got a great school, cool family, everything. Like I love it's amazing.
Yeah, just such a good dude. Down to earth, so
Oh
chill,
yeah,
so knowledgeable. I mean, so I trained with Mark Munoz, when I was fighting, and Mark coached him at UC Davis. And so it's so funny how small this world is in wrestling and jiu-jitsu. It's like everyone's connected.
it's funny. I always say jiu-jitsu is such a small community, but it's worldwide. Like
Mm,
someone knows someone that you know, or you run into someone that does jiu-jitsu, and then they're like, "Oh, I train here," and you're like, "Oh, I know them." Like it's so funny.
yeah, no, it's so cool to be able to make these connections. And so Elliot, I'm assuming, was a big reason you came to the AJJ syndicate.
Yeah, Elliot. When I said I was going to be opening up my school, Elliot was like, "Hey, like, he's was telling me all about it." And I was like, yeah, I was like, I would love that. Like, I would love to be a part of whatever team you're on. And he was like, yeah, it's for Tanner. I was like, and I always follow Tanner's matches and try to like pick
Hmm.
apart some of his stuff. And I was like, this is awesome. Like, I can't wait to be able to be a part of this and then go out there. You guys come out here. It's gonna be great.
Yeah, yeah. No, it's so cool. We're rooting
Oh
for you.
yeah.
Like, and that's what's so cool about our gyms. It's like you, Aaron, Tanner, Elliot, all are like similar guys. Like all are just like you could slap you in the face and you'd just shake my hand. Like I feel like you guys are all similar in that, where it's just like I've proven all I need to prove, and like I just want to do jujitsu. Like that's the
Exactly.
main goal.
Yep, that's pretty much it.
Right? And it's so cool that we have that, because it's like I said, so many egos are in this sport. So many egos are in, MMA and wrestling, jiu-jitsu, and it's just like it's exhausting, and it's not the way it should be. I mean, we should be learning and sharing and having fun, like you said. It
No, exactly. There should be no BS at all. But there is in the sport. But
for
other
sure.
than that, like if you can find the people that you want to be around, and you'll have the best time ever.
Yeah, yeah, for sure. I love it. I love our syndicate. It's so cool that we're, a part of something, different. Like you said, we're creating a different kind of culture around jujitsu, where it's just like we don't need all the red tape to get on the mats and
No.
roll. Like, sorry, like, I mean, and I don't want to offend anybody by saying this, but like, we don't, we don't do the traditional like bow on the mat sort of thing. We don't, worry about tying our belt, a certain way or anything like that. It's just like, no, get in, learn the technique, let's have some fun.
Exactly. I try to steer away from all this stuff. Like, yeah, it's cool to have like certain traditions and stuff like that, but I'm not gonna have you call me grandmaster or this or that. Like, it's not me. Like, even when people
Yeah,
say
no,
like professor this, I'm like no. You can call coach at the most, or just say what's up, Pat. Like I'm not
yeah,
like no no
yeah,
no
yeah.
no. If you want to say something, I'll be coach. Like, but
Yes,
that's it.
yes. Yeah, that's as far as it goes. That's all it needs. Oh, cool, man. Yeah, thanks for sitting with me. Thanks for inviting me to your gym. I
Anytime.
mean,
I can't wait for you to
dude,
come back out.
you, yeah, dude, I'm definitely wanting to. I want to bring a big crew next time, though. We'll have
Definitely.
a big old roll. It'll be
I'm gonna
fun.
I'm gonna try
And
and
then,
sneak out to you guys, hopefully before the New Year. I want to
yes,
try and just for a couple of
yes,
quick days is my goal. Yeah,
yeah. Yeah, so the gym got pushed back another month, so we're looking at August 1st now for our grand opening or soft opening, and then grand opening to follow. So maybe around then, I would love to have you come out, maybe do a
oh, that'd be
seminar or
awesome. Yeah,
something. That'd be so fun. I love, I love having guys come out. We had Felipe Andrew, I think, was our last seminar, and dude, you just soak up so many different things from guys when they come in, and then you can pick their brain after, like we got to do. I got to pick your brain after we rolled, and that's how we
the
grow,
only
man.
way to
It's
do
so
it.
fun. Yeah, dude. Well, man, I appreciate you so much. I appreciate you being a part of our syndicate and being so inviting, and you're such a blessing. Just as a resource, man. I appreciate you. You gave me some gifts, gave me some shirts, and your guys were so generous with their donations. So I really appreciate
Anytime.
that. Like I said, I'm not a huge draw. I'm not, the most, big name, but you guys, made me feel like I was
Hey, if I
important,
can
and that
help out
was
anybody
really,
in any
really
way,
cool.
I'm always going to. That's just how I am.
Dude, that's
Yeah,
awesome.
but I really
Yeah,
appreciate you
dude,
coming out, and I really enjoyed being here. This has been a fun time
yeah, man. Thank you so much, Patrick. We'll keep in touch
for
for
sure.
sure.
All right,
All
I'll
right,
talk to
buddy.
you soon.
I'll talk to you later.
Later.
See you, buddy. Did anyone ever challenge Eddie?
Never. I never
anyone
seen it.
ever
No,
try to step with him?
he snuck in. So he came to watch me wrestle, and he was a cheapskate. So he tried to sneak in the back door. Were you with him?
No.
He tried to sneak in the back door. Some tough guy tried called him on it, and then he goes, "I'll beat you to tomorrow. You meet me here right after this tournament. I'll be back at 11:30." He goes, "I'll beat you." It's like, golly, can't take him anywhere.
Tell them about FMC.
Oh god.
Gus was
So,
there for that, I
oh
think.
yeah.
Because Gus worked at FMC.
So I graduate and I get hired at a factory. It's food machinery company in San Jose. I mean, this is like all you've heard about in the industrial world, like growing up, and now you're in it. It was like working in hell. I worked swing shift with a bunch of old guys, and it was hot, and you had to wear coveralls. And it's basically a movable drill press that you follow a template on, and you're bench pressing this thing all day long. And everybody smokes like a train because they're all freaking out because of you had a part quota, and you had to make it, or everybody it went up the chain. So it was like top down. You got to make this part, you know. But But Uncle Ed, man, he just lightened everything up. So all of a sudden you hear this boom, and, and half a dozen guys coming out with mashed potatoes all over. You take a Kentucky Fried Chicken on the one of those big pots,
Buckets.
like the pints, M80, and slide it under and they'd have stalls. I've never seen a bathroom that big. They had like 12 stalls, and just blew this mashed
Potatoes.
potatoes all over everybody. And he just do things to freak people out. Like we all wait in line to go take a break, and he get out in front of everybody. And goes, "All right, follow me." And all these old cronies like, this guy's freaking nuts.